Hello there, everyone. This is the Black Nationalist coming back at you with another timely video. Of course, I want to go and speak upon the latest thing that is happening right now. Uh, his name is Mr. Andrew Brown Jr. Now, this brother, he was shot last week because this is when I have posted it on my Twitter page last week, I believe, about that because it took place around the young lady Micaiah when she was shot by a police officer. Now, let me start off with this quote from my icon from Brother Malcolm X, whom I do love. This brother says, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppression. The oppressing. I'm sorry. Now, the reason why I started out with that is because there was an article, a New York Post article, that came out on April 27th at 2:16 a.m. And the title of this article says Andrew Brown Jr. was known drug dealer with rap sheet over 100 pages. What did Malcolm X said? They will have you hating the people who are being oppressed. So here's my thing. Why is that important right now? See, this is what white supremacists do. Because, see, there has been a lot of killings that took place back to back last week that wasn't reported very well. There wasn't. So, in order to say, okay, we can't be showing how violent we are towards black people every single day, we have to make sure that we turn into Wonder Woman by deflecting all over the place. And so, the best way to do so is to go right ahead and to look at this individual's background and say, yo, we did something right. He was a bad guy. He was a bad dude. He was someone that people will look down on society upon. So we are justified with that. Evidence would prove that it is wrong, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Now, in this article, they said that there was a 30-year rap sheet stretching more than 180 pages. Now, here in the city of Chicago, where I live, like we always say, we know these police officers know who the drug dealers are, who the criminals are, but see, they're not going to get them off the streets. You know why? And this is my opinion. It's because if they were to arrest these well-known drug dealers, these well-known criminals, and they was locked up, the crime rating would go down, and you would be asking, okay, why are they out here patrolling when they got all the crooks off the streets? So there would be like a job, people will be laid off. That's just me. That's just how I'm thinking about that. That is just exactly how I am thinking about that. Also, we have, according to this article, that the officers in the drug task force said that they were familiar with Brown and known him to be a source of supply of crack cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, and meth. Now that the warrant says. Now we all know. Again, this is Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and I'm just looking at North Carolina itself. There's a lot of hillbillies out there, and the whole 9 yards. Meth, who is the biggest consumers? White people. Heroin, who is the biggest? White people. Cocaine, that's pretty expensive. Then crack. So you're going to have white people that's going to be taking this stuff. So this is how it is. I knew a guy who says that a lot of his clientele, this was years ago, he said a lot of his clientels were white people. And they would come in to pick up their merchandise and go back to the suburbs to where they live. This is exactly what they do. And this police and these officers from the drug task force, they went on Fox News about it. So Fox News, I'm not even going to play their clip or anything like that, because we all know how they feel about black people already. They already don't see us as being human beings, and they already feel that we shouldn't be here walking on the face of this earth. So there's no point in me even raising my blood pressure with that. But I wanted to start off with that, with this quote from Malcolm X, and also from this article. And I am going to be posting this article in the description so that you can look it up yourself. But they want to make sure that they demonize this victim. This brother's body isn't in the ground just yet, I don't believe. And they are already going on this rampage of saying, okay, let's go after him, because we don't want people to have any type of empathy towards him and the family. Because according to the next article from NPR.org, now this particular article came out on April 27th. It was updated on April 27th at 4:38 Eastern Standard Time. And we have here, unfortunately, the family did get Benjamin Crump. He said on Tuesday that it was a kill shot to the back of the head. And the reason why they say that it was a kill shot is because autopsy found a total of 5 bullet wounds to Brown's body. The first shots went through the front windshield of Brown's car, attorney Wayne Kendall said, adding that Brown suffered 4 bullet wounds to his right arm. Now, this article, it also speaks on, and I want to make sure that I quote this correctly, the death certificate for Brown was also released Tuesday. It listed the manner of death as a homicide caused by a penetrating gunshot wound of the head. The North Carolina Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has not released a report of its autopsy on Brown's body. And we do see here that on Tuesday, the FBI confirmed that they have opened a civil rights investigation into Brown's death to determine whether federal laws were violated. Here we have a warrant was issued out to search Mr. Brown's Jr.'s house because of drug relations, which they already knew who he was. They've known about it since 1988. Going back to the New York Post article, so they had a 30 years track of this man. So there's nothing new about it. So we have this brother who is gone, and I send out condolences to his family. They already assassinating him, saying that he's a degenerate. They might as well better just say it. Now I'm just going to say it. This is my opinion. They're probably, in so many words, trying to say that he was a lowlife who didn't deserve to be here. He was a drug dealer, and we know how drug dealers behave. So what the police officers did was good. But here's the problem. The kill shot took place in the back of the head that cost Brown's life, while there were 4 bullet wounds to his right arm, according to this article here. So you already disabled the man by putting bullets in his right arms. You mean to tell me that you could not, and I'm pretty sure that he was suffering in agony about that, anyone would, open the door at this time because you know that he isn't a threat to you? Open the door, grab him, and cuff him? You couldn't do that? No, what you had to do was, while he was still in the car, is that you had to put a bullet in the back of his head. Everyone knows that when you put a bullet in someone's back of their head, that is an automatic execution. There's no way of getting around that. You cannot try to say that there are pigs flying to give to justification of saying that this man should have been executed this way. I play that for you so that you can see it yourself.
Let's be clear. This was an execution. Andrew Brown was in his driveway. The sheriff truck blocked him in his driveway, so he could not exit his driveway. Andrew had his hands on his steering wheel. He was not reaching for anything. He wasn't touching anything. He wasn't throwing anything around. He had his hands firmly on the steering wheel. They run up to his vehicle shooting.
Sure did.
He still stood there, sat there in his vehicle with his hands on the steering wheel while being shot at. Now keep in mind, this is 20 seconds. I have 3 pages of notes for 20 seconds. We watched this over and over and over to make sure we were clear at what was going on and what was transpiring.
Now again, 4 bullet wounds, right arm. The 5th bullet wound, back of the bullets went into the back of his head, just one. This video from the press release, what took place on 26, says that his hands were on the steering wheel. Why is it that there were 3 police officers, from my understanding, were not part of this incident, resigned, and 7 officers were suspended? And today we had a judge who said that they are not going to release the video. Why? Is it because you know that what these officers or race soldiers, as to which they are, were in the wrong, that how they executed this man? I don't care what your history was, okay? You allowed the courts to decide a judgment for you on whatever crimes that you have committed, okay? You are not the judge and executioner. You are not all of those things, the jury, judge, and executioner. That is not you, okay? The cops. These race soldiers. See, they just wanted a quick kill, and this is how I'm thinking, how I feel all the time. Is that when they kill our people, to me, it seems like they purposely go after those who they consider to be low lives, so that they can say and try to justify the reason why that they have pumped so many lead into a black person, into a black man or black woman or black child's body. I kid you not. I truly believe that. I mean, Trayvon Martin, they went so far as to say, oh, he was smoking weed or something like that. The young girl Ma'Khia, they said that she was disruptive and things to that nature. And we also had, don't forget, there was another young man who was murdered by a police officer. He was shot 10 times. And that took place, I think, the next day after this brother was murdered. And some people are saying that it was a lowest quarrel, or whatever the case may be. But the point is, I really do feel like that they purposely target some of our people as to who they want to kill, for them to justify that this is the reason why I murdered them. Look at their rap sheet. So I want to know, what is it that made them all of a sudden go to this man's house to want to search his place after you already know who he supposedly is and what he does? And I just want to know as to what will cause them. You know what? No, I'm not even going to say that. I know the reason as to why they will kill this brother like that is because they can, and that I'm white and I say so. We all know that. Listen, these race soldiers are doing exactly what they have been doing during slavery. What they used to be known as the Runaway Slave Patrol. Their badge, the design of their badges haven't changed. So every time when that white police officer look at their badge, these white supremacists, they see the very same badge that their ancestors used to murder our grandfathers, our grandmothers, to murder all of them for reasons saying that, oh, you was a runaway. So they are doing exactly what their ancestors was doing. This is nothing new. So I'm so sick and tired of people always saying that they need better training. I'm so sick and tired of our people always asking, why is it that they doing this to us? It's because that they have, it is America's history for the police officers or the runaway slave patrols or race soldiers, however you want to call it, to view us as being less than 3/5 of a human being so that they can kill us. They do not like us one bit. There is this article here. It's the Wilmington Police, and this took place a while back, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it took the article came out June 25th of 2020. Now, these three cops, they were fired after having this racist talk about killing black residents, okay? Now, here is, quoting from the article, sitting in his patrol car in Wilmington, North Carolina, Officer Michael Kevin Piner predicted Black Lives Matter protests would soon lead to civil war. He is quoted, "I'm ready," Piner told another officer, adding he planned to buy an assault rifle. He went on to say, "We are just going to go out and start slaughtering them effing N-words," he said. He said, "We are going to wipe them off the effing map." Talking about us, that is going to put them back 4 or 5 generations. This is how all of them feel. All of non-black race soldiers feel. If you say that there are some good officers out there, okay, then fine, then this doesn't apply to you. But a good 85% of them feels this way. It's just that he was caught. And this was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and this execution of this brother of Andrew Jr. was in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Like I said, both Carolinas, I forgot which one of the state, I believe it is North, who executed that young black boy, saying that he did something to a little white girl. Come to find out that it wasn't true, and that funky state issued an apology like that was supposed to just ease the pain. No, it's not. So, listen, all I gotta say is this, like I said in my previous video. If you are already ready, you ain't gotta get ready. Folks just need to start turning up out here. And when I'm talking about turning up, I'm talking about going all the way in. They are literally committing slow genocide on us. They are committing this slow genocide on us. And when are we going to get it through our head that, you know what, it's time for us to fight back? We are seeing how white people, going back and forth with Tariq, and he even mentioned it on his broadcast yesterday. They're going after him because of him sharing a neutral post of this white man, a grown man, because they saying that he's a kid, this white grown man who was acting out, had a temper tantrum. In my mind, that's what it looked like. He was tearing the work property by banging on a computer and then banging on his head, trying to hurt himself, and all over because he was not giving good customer service. And then you got white people saying he was a kid. Why are you picking on somebody who's mentally ill? And all that other type jazz. They keep showing how they raised over $100,000 on GoFundMe for this guy, or whatever. Now, there was also a post that was shown. I think it was Reddit. I did also tweet it on my page as well. Well, he may mention that he was, let me pull it up so I can make sure that I am not misquoting it. He said, "I don't know what to do. I actually am drunk still and drove 30 minutes to my workplace drunk. I'm still driving and I drove drunk. Why would I do that?" Now, this could be alleged, whatever the case may be, but the reason why I'm saying is because before that quote, it is said that he went viral because of his schizoaffective disorder that he has. Alright, so if you know you got some issues, something like that, why would you drink before going to work? Your mind is not going to be in the right place. Now, see, I'm not going to excuse this guy because he has whatever issues that they claim that he has, because there are so many people that said that he suffered from bipolar. I mean, they had all different type of medical terminology out here. You have people who were so-called psychiatrists. You have people who were social workers. I kid you not. There was this one black lady on Instagram was saying that she's a social worker, so she knows what he was going through. And I'm like, yeah, I'm calling BS on that, because if it was a black person who behaved like he did, would you be over here saying, "Oh, I feel so sorry for him, he has his type of issues"? No, you would not. everybody and their mama will be talking about, oh, look at this black man. See, this is why you shouldn't be hiring black people, because black people are inherently violent. Black people don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. Black people always want to get upset. Black people never want to keep a job, so they act out. We all know what they will say if this individual, his complexion was black and he did the same stunt that he did. Now, also, check this out. This video would have went viral if the customer was a white guy and he act like that? He did that performance in front of him? No. See, white people, these racist white people, they don't care as long as they can take whatever heat that they are doing upon us off of them. They are going to try to turn into Wonder Woman by deflecting. They are going to come up with this false reality that they have play in their head, and they are going to get their think tanks and all that other type of people to come together to try to gain up on us. Like I have been saying, we need to go out and we need to come out with a force and say, no, you are not going to try to bully us. You saw how the LGBTQ, they came out with the paper, the LGBT Nation or whatever. They tried to come out and to slander Tyrese's name, and we all went after them. It's like, no, you are not going to do that. We're not today, Satan, not today. See, we are not going to continue to allow these people to try to bully us because of whatever little clout that Obama has given them by giving them resources, and what Biden has given them by giving them resources as well. At the end of the day, you are going to respect me like I'm going to respect you. If you do not respect me, do not expect respect to return to you. That's how I feel about it. But I just wanted to make sure that I said this little piece before it actually gets out of control, because that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to get out of control. The media, they are going to do their best to say Andrew Brown Jr., he was no good. He is one of the individuals in society that we look down upon. And I'm going to guarantee you that white people are going to have a field day. They are going to have a field day. But you cannot get around this. The kill shot to the back of his head. Everyone knows that is execution. Everyone knows that. You cannot get around that. You cannot. You already have 4 bullets in his right arm. Explain why they needed to put the 5th bullet in the back of his head. Explain that. You can't explain that. You cannot get away from that, because you know that that was execution. You know they executed this man. Point blank simple. Also, why is it that the judge had to say, we're not going to show it? Why is it that you had 3 police officers resign and 7 were suspended? You got to answer those questions. But see, they're not. They're going to harper in, zero in, have the magnifying glass in, saying, but he had a 30-year rap sheet. Okay, so why did they continue to allow him out in the streets freely if they knew that this is what he was doing? Answer that. Oh, well, I don't know, I don't know. Yeah, you do know. You do know, because see, it is money that is going hand in hand when you constantly have this type of crime or whatever the case may be in certain cities, so that they can get federal funding. Now, see, if the crimes were to just go away, the city won't get much money, because it's like, okay, nothing much is happening over here, so you don't need this type of money over here. So we're going to start cutting some weight in the police department. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They need these race soldiers. They need these runaway slave patrollers, or what they call now police officers. They need them out here to commit terror. They need them out here to do all of this to us. Okay? That's why they doing this fake, false flash Asian attack. Like I said in the other video, we have never been an issue with these people, and out the blue, all of a sudden we have an issue with them. There was a recent video, I kid you not, it was just so poor. It looked like one of those indie snuff films that somebody with a limited budget of $50 said let's make, and then they just created this video of this guy who had on flip-flops with a hoodie, And a police officer just nonchalant, just standing there watching him just tap a guy on the head with a stick. I mean, really? And the guy passed out like he was hit with a brick. And then the black man, who obviously you could tell he was a foreign black man, he was standing there looking like, okay, should I run or should I not run? Should I run or should I not run? And then when a police officer ran, that's when he ran. Okay, so they have to find a way to project from their evil doings when it comes to us. So this is all that I have about it right now, and I hope all of you enjoy the rest of your day.